Hello! Today we are going to do a web series review of Clairvoyant. It's an original TV style web series about Claire, who discovers that she is psychic around the same time that she and her roommate Ruby are desperately behind on rent. This web series is a couple of years old and it has some very notable web series actors. Natasha Negavalis, who plays Carmilla in the web series Carmilla, and then also the actress who plays Perry in Carmilla, Annie Briggs. I liked the comedic self-awareness. It had a comedic vibe that I think is very modern, putting the characters in situations where it's very naturally awkward. Their concept is a little ridiculous. For example, Natasha plays both the main character Claire and also Claire's Macedonian grandmother in a few scenes. Not taking itself too seriously, I thought was a good choice for a web series like this where you already have to suspend disbelief. There's clairvoyance, there's magic, there's like a brain battle between two clairvoyants happening here. So I really liked the comedic take on it. If you're working with a smaller budget or you're working with effects that you know don't look 100% realistic, that I think that just going at it from a comedic standpoint is really smart. I also really liked the concept of this series, taking something that is magical and supernatural and putting it in a very realistic and normal situation. I think is always a very fun thing to do. I personally really like when we take having magic powers and then the character is not 100% perfect or totally equipped to deal with that. It kind of reminds me of a Disney Channel show, That's So Raven. I really liked Annie's acting in this series. I thought she was the standout for me. Her character mostly had comedic moments, but she does also have a few moments where it's a bit more serious. Even though the tone shift was kind of abrupt in some scenes, she handles it super well. I think with Carmilla especially, the fans have a tendency to see the characters and the actors as very similar to each other, and I think that happens in a lot of fandoms where it's really big and something's really popular, where sometimes people ascribe traits of the characters to the actors themselves, and this character is so different from the characters that I've typically seen Annie play. She really just leans into the craziness, and then when she has to be more serious and more vulnerable and bring more depth to it, she does a really good job. Personally, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, I personally really liked the inclusion of the abortion storyline here. When Claire and Ruby are having a fight, Claire makes a comment about a pregnancy that Ruby doesn't even know about. Ruby is in a very loving and kind of like bizarre relationship with her boyfriend, but she tells him explicitly she does not want to be pregnant, so she does go and have an abortion off screen. But when she's at home recovering, we see that Claire has canceled her date with her dream girl essentially to support Ruby. I thought that that was a really great way to highlight the friendship in a way that was realistic, even though it was a more serious moment in an otherwise very zany web series. I really liked that it actually gave the series some weight. I think it showed that it really is a two-sided friendship where Claire will always be there for Ruby. It's not just Ruby dragging Claire through life trying to get her to take that leap of faith. Some things that I thought this web series could have done better. I thought that Nico as a character, Nico is Claire's dream girl, and she kind of stays that way for a large part of the series. We don't really get much of her backstory, and I would have liked to see a little bit more about her as a person, especially since she is present in the final battle. And we also see some scenes where she is. We also don't really see much of Nico and Claire's relationship, considering that Claire is really awkward and that she was really worried about going out with Nico, and then she cancels on their date, and then some of their other dates go really poorly. I would have really liked to see a little bit more of what their relationship was actually like when they were actually together, and also why Nico might really like Claire on the same level that Claire likes her. So I wish that Nico as a character and her relationships had been developed a little bit more. Also, some of the comedy, at least a couple times in the series, reverts to gross out comedy with vomiting and other bodily fluids. That's just not my type of comedy, so I find it more cringeworthy than funny. It's become very popular in women-centered media, I think, in the past decade or so, kind of as a like, oh well, men can do gross out comedy and women can too, but regardless regardless of who's doing it, it's not my thing and I don't like it. I would watch this series if you really like web series that are centered on women, especially lesbians and strong female friendships. I know that a lot of times when I watch a web series and there's a female friendship represented, usually it is that there is one heterosexual woman and one queer woman, and the series does follow that format. But this queer woman is the main character, which I don't see very often. Usually the character that is the main is the straight woman, and then we have the queer woman character as more peripheral. Their friendship is very solid. We see that they express their love and care for each other in different ways. If you also like supernatural web series that take more of a comedic bent, then this is definitely a good web series for you. And if you are really interested to see Annie Briggs and Natasha Nega Vanley play against type, you're interested to kind of see them do something new and to see them really flex those acting chops, then this is definitely a good series for that. I would skip this series if you really prefer a darker vibe. The series doesn't really go into ethics and morality regarding seeing the future. If you want to see something that's a lot darker, that covers a lot higher stakes, then this is not really the series for you. If you want a series that has multiple seasons, this is just all one season, all one go. I don't believe they're going to make a second season, so this is not really the web series for you if you want the series to explore the characters' journeys over a long period of time. Also, if you prefer vlog style web series, the series is done entirely in a TV style format or a cinematic format where the characters are unaware of the camera is out of universe. So if vlog style web series are more of your thing, you're not really going to get that here. And if you prefer literary based web series, the series is an original concept, so you don't really have any other text or transmedia to go off of. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and recommend to me the web series that you've seen and enjoyed. If you thought that I made a mistake somewhere, or you really like something that I didn't like, or there is something else that you really wanted to talk about, then please comment below. I love hearing other people's thoughts, and I will see you next time.